right? So how much is 0, 0? This should be 9, right? Because you replace the x with 0 in, and then all the x term, there's 0, so only 9 there, right? And then you can check the answer, and then say, okay, that's good. And then if you do this one, you have a 3 try. I'm gonna just type this one is 1, which is it's not 1. All right, but I'm gonna type 1. I know it's wrong. So when I check the answer, what happened? Oh, you say no, it's incorrect. So this one you have a 3 tries. Okay. If I type a 2 in here, and then it's still incorrect, and I still have the same number here. Okay, I still have the same question, same number here. So now I'm going to really take this time to make it right, right? So -2 squared will be +4. 4 times 3 will be 12. And then -2 times -2 will be +4. So 12 plus 4 will be 16 plus this one. So I think it's 25. I don't use the calculator, right? So I have a final check in here. All right, so that's good. All right, so you have 3 tries before they give you the right check. Okay, so you have each one, you have 3 tries, give you the right check in here. If you do not know how to solve this one, you can view an example. Look at that, you can view an example. And then you hit continue. This one we are showing you step by step on how to do this one. Okay, so that's why the online one, this is very, very detailed. You have a step by step in here. All right. And then you can get more help. You can use the calculator. Yeah, we do allow you to use the calculator on the test. Okay. And then or you can go to see the video just for this type of question. Okay. If you click the video here, we are just showing you this type of question in here, and there's a calculator in here you can use for the calculation. You can also use the TI-83 or 84, the graphing calculator for this course as well. Okay. So that is the one you can use in here. If you go through the view example, you go through the video, and then you still and then read the textbook, and you still don't know how to do this one, you can ask the instructor. All right. So you will ask the instructor from here, because that way you say, I don't understand this one, and tell me a little bit description, right? Say what you got stuck, and then you hit send. This one will send directly to my email, all right, and it will generate a link. Okay, so that is this one, but I want you to go through the step first. You cannot ask every question, right? If you ask every question, that means you didn't study at all, right? Like a 20 question, you ask me every 20 question here, and that means you do not study, all right? So I'll tell you, you need to study first, okay? But if you got stuck in one, go through a view example, go through a video, and you still do not know, you can just go ahead and ask me that way. All right. Any question about the homework? Oh, there's also help me solve this one. Okay. Help me solve this one is very similar to viewing example. It's just a little bit interactive, right? So this one is there you calculate. So this is, 3 times 0 to the square, that's 0, right? And then this is also 0. And then you check this one. So this one giving you step by step, and then you can get an answer in here, right? And then it's kind of prime you step by step that way. All right, and then go through this each one step by step. All right, and that's the viewing example number usually is a little bit different in here. Okay, so when you come to do the homework, you still need to do this one right here, because it's different number. All right. And of course you set the best score, you get a this different number, and this one I have a green and red. That means I did some of them right, and I didn't finish all of them. Okay, so that is this one right here. We can go ahead and finish this one later, because this is 9. I can just go ahead and finish this one, right? And then that is okay. Let me do a little bit of calculation so you know how to do this one right here, right? So this one we will plug it in. So this is a function notation. All right. So we have a b here. All right. B here, you're gonna have a g of -1. So how do you calculate g of -1? Replace x by -1. So you're gonna have a 2 times -1 squared, right? Minus 5 times -1 plus 9. okay? And then this negative one's perfect square, so that's positive one, okay? And then negative times negative is positive. All right, so 2 times 1 is 2, so you're going to have a 2 plus 5, 7. 7 plus 9 will be 16, right? So this one, we are showing you that is 16, okay? And then g of the 3, so similar, you replace this function notation, so you replace g of 3, you replace x by 3 in, all right? So it's 2 times 3 squared minus 5 times 3 plus 9, right? So 3 squared is 9, 2 times 9 is 18, right? Minus 15 and then plus 9. So these add up together is 3. 3 plus 9 will be what? 12. Okay, so this one will be 12. All right, and then we can check answer. Remember, you have a 3 tries before they giving you the right check. All right, so you have a 3 attempts that way. Okay. How do you do the G one? D. D is G of negative X. Okay, so this X can be anything. Look at that. I can replace the X by 0, by negative 1, by 3. I can also change this X into negative X, whatever. So this will be 2 times negative X squared. All right, so remember all the X need to become negative X plus 9, right? And then this negative square is positive. So that's 2x squared, okay, plus 5x plus 9. And I cannot really simplify this anymore. There's no like term. So that is my answer, okay? So my answer here is 2x squared right here, all right? And then make sure you cursor it down, okay? So how to type this one? Plus 5x, okay? Or look at it. If I didn't cursor down, you plus 5x is gonna be in the exponent, right? So you need to plus 5x, okay? And then plus 9. All right, make sure you type all that correctly, and then you check your answer. All right, so this one, the final answer is an expression, not just a number like this, right? Because this is an expression in here, okay? You need to simplify your answer. All right, so this time, what is g of negative 1? That is E, right? G of 1 minus t, I'm sorry, it's 1 minus t, not negative. 1 minus t. All right, so that means all the x is the parenthesis in here. So you're going to have a 2 times 1 minus t squared minus 5 times 1 minus t plus 9. Okay, remember they said you have to simplify. All right, so I need to get rid of this parenthesis. Perfect square is 1 minus t times 1 minus t, and there's a formula in here, right? If you have a minus b squared, that's a squared minus 2ab plus b squared, okay? I hope everyone remember this formula, or you're gonna have to do the for you, all right? So this one square will be 1 minus 2 times the first one, second one as 2t plus t squared, right? And then get rid of this one, minus 5. Negative 5 into times negative t, so it's plus 5t. All right, so now we need to multiply this whole thing in. Okay, multiply 2 in. So that's 2 minus 4t plus 2t squared minus 5 plus 5t plus 9. Okay, I like to write down in a descending order. So this will be 2t squared, right? And then these two are the like term. So that will be plus t. Okay, negative 4t plus 5t, right? And then we're going to have a 2 minus 5, that's negative 3 plus 9, so that's plus 6, right? So 11 minus 5, that is 6. So that is my answer here. All right, so we're going to type this one is 2t squared. All right, 2t. Remember, this is not x, it's t. 2t squared. All right, make sure you cursor down. Okay, and then plus t. Okay, and then plus what? Plus 6. Plus 6. And then you check the answer. Remember, you have a 3 chance to get it right. Okay, you will let you input like a 3 times. All right, so now we have this green check, right? if I do this partial right, didn't get all of them right, you're gonna have a green and red check, right? And if you have a green red check, you can always improve your homework to 100% by doing the similar question. Okay, if you do the similar question and you got it all right, now your question gonna become a green check. Okay, so we don't really count how many times you got it right. As long as you got it right, it will always become the green check. So that means your homework can always get to 100%. All right, any questions? Any questions? Okay, so that is how you do the homework in here, okay? Um, you also, the assignment here, you also have a quiz, okay? Like this one, you also have a quiz. Quiz, you will have a 3 try, and then they ask you to enter the password, okay? So let me just giving you the password. The password here is for 2025. Oh, okay. For one word, no space. Okay. It's for 2025. The the test and the quiz has the same password. All right. But the test you will need to using the lockdown browser. So if I type for 2025, you will have a 3 tries. Okay. We will have quiz, you will have a 3 attempt. All right. And then you hit start. All right. This one you do have a little bit time limit, or this one is only one question. Okay. And this one you want to find the domain and the range. All right, so what's a domain? Domain is all the X value you can have, right? If you go through the domain here, this is a square root. Square root is an even root. So anything under the even root has to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, I'm gonna give you a bonus. Let's do this one. All right, so that means 18 minus x need to be greater than or equal to 0. And then you go to solve x. All right, if I add an x on both sides, I have 18 greater than or equal to x. Or I write down x on this side, this x is gonna be less than or equal to 18, right? And then usually like to write down the interval notation. So one thing here in college algebra, you have to know what is the interval notation. All right, so let me go ahead and talk the interval notation. Interval notation here is you write down 2 numbers, smaller number on the left, large number on the right. Okay. If you have an x greater than 1, less than or equal to 2. All right. 1 and 2. 1 is parenthesis. 2 gonna be a bracket because you have an equal sign using the bracket. If you don't have an equal sign using the parenthesis, so this is gonna be 1, 2 bracket. That is the interval notation for this one. All right. If you have just x greater than 3, don't have this x greater than 3. How do you write this one? So you're gonna have a 3 all the way to infinity. Okay, so you have a 3 common infinity. That's x greater than 3. All right. If you have a x less than 1, less than or equal to 1, right? So this one, or less than or equal to 18. Okay, this is 18. All right, you have equal sign. And you're gonna get from negative infinity to 18 bracket in here. All right, so if you have an equal sign, you're using the bracket. Positive or negative infinity, always using parentheses because you never ever equal to the infinity. You can only approach, not equal to. All right, so that is the parenthesis. Negative infinity is always on the left-hand side. Positive infinity is always on the right-hand side because that's the biggest one. This one is the smallest one. All right, so if I type this one, interval notation. Okay, let's see, what do we get? We got a negative infinity, so that is parenthesis, right? Parenthesis, negative infinity, that's infinity right here. All right, you can have a more symbol in here, okay? Negative infinity, you need to have a comment, and then 18, and then using the bracket. All right, you have 3 tries, okay? And what is the range? Range for the y, range will be from 0 to infinity, because anything come out from the square root is always positive or at least 0, right? When x equal to 18, 18 minus 18 is gonna be 0. So yeah, you will include 0. So this range is from 0 to infinity. All right. And that is how you do this one. And then you're gonna choose the correct graph, right? So remember x is less than or equal to 18. So this graph we're gonna turn into the left-hand side. All right, so gonna be this way. Not this one. So A and C are incorrect one. So you can either B or D facing the less than, right? And then this one right here, you can enlarge that. You can look at it. You can enlarge that. You can make it even bigger. All right, you can make it even bigger, really big, that way. All right, so this is less than or equal to negative 18. This one is negative 18. Apparently, it's not a correct one, right? We have to less than positive 18. So this would be the correct answer. All right, and then when I hit submit, okay, it said, yeah, I want to submit this one, right? So now you can go to the review, or you can go to the result to see what happened in here. I can review this one to see where I got it wrong. If I got it wrong, I will know why, right? And then if you don't want to review right away, you can come to the grade book, okay? So go to the student grade book in here, and then review them. That way it won't contact you another time. Okay, so because I am on the instructor one, so that's why it didn't show. Oh, here you go. All right. So yeah, so now look at it. You can review the quiz. Usually the homework is unlimited time, so you can review the homework inside the assignment. But when you do the test or quiz, you want to come here to review. Go to the grade book, okay? Go to the student grade book, and then if you do not see this one right here, look at it. This is only past 2 weeks, so you can hit the entire course today, right? And that way you can see everything in here. And then review here. Click the review, and it will show you say, oh yeah, what is your answer? What is the correct answer, right? So this one I do answer it correctly in here. If I do not answer correctly, you click on this one, it will show you what is the correct answer and what you enter in here. All right, so that way you will know the difference of the correct answer and your answer that way. Okay, so come to the grade book in here to do this one. The grade book, go to the student grade book. Okay, go to the student grade book in here, and then you click the review. All right, click the review in here, and it will show you everything in here. All right, any question about the assignment? I pretty much shown you exactly how to fund the assignment and how to get started homework. Okay, I do see some people already started, so that's good, right? We have quite a few people already started the assignment, so that's good. All right, and if you want to see like you quiz, you didn't get it right or something, you can always come to the review section. Okay. Any questions? Anyone else have any questions so far? Oh,
Yeah, so do we pace ourselves like and just make our due dates, or do we have to just like based off of the calendar?
that's a good question. Okay, that's the one I'm going to show you in the syllabus here. All right. So let's look at the syllabus. You do need to, this is only 8 weeks. So we do need to have a double speed, for this course, right? Because we only have 8 weeks. Okay. Overall, you need to have at least 89.9, but the 89.9, you will run to 90. Okay. So you need to have a 90 to 100 to get an A. If you have a 89.4, you're gonna run down to B. All right. So sometimes you just need to pay that some extra effort. Okay. And that is the grading in here. Chapter review, basically homework and the review gonna count 30% in here. All right. And then you have a quiz. So you have a multiple quizzes. Each quiz you're gonna have a 3 attempt. Whatever the highest grade come, okay, for the online quiz, whatever the highest, you have a 3 attempt. It's not going to average the three attempt. You're gonna just count the highest grade. All right. If your first attempt is 0, but your third attempt is 100, you're gonna just take 100 to count as the quiz grade. All right. We have a 4 test. Each test is gonna be 13%. All right. And here's the schedule. Okay, so you have schedule week 1, 1A, 1B. That means usually this is a 16-week schedule, but since we are 8 weeks, so we're gonna have to speed up. Look at it. So this one, I want to show you the difference of this one right here. That's why I've separated into 1A and 1B in here. So this is week 1. Week 1, usually in a 16 weeks, you finish 2 sections, right? And we are in 8 weeks, so we need to double. All right, we need to double this one. So we need to finish 4 sections. Okay. Same thing as the week 2. So you have a 2 parts, you need to finish. So next week, basically, we need to finish the chapter 2. All right. And then chapter 1, we only require a few sections, 1.2, 3, and 5. Okay. The reason I put this one right here because you need to, this is kind of a little bit review based foundation, so you can kind of help you with the chapter 2, that one. Okay, so by the end of the next week, we're gonna need to finish the test 1. So yeah, you do have a schedule right here. All right, so this is all the schedule. If you follow the schedule, you will be in a good shape. So so we need to do this from very beginning. You can do as fast as possible, but I don't recommend you to fall behind, okay? If you just fall a little bit, not too much behind, because when you fall too much behind, that means you won't be able to finish by the end of the course, right? But if you just a little bit behind, I don't penalize you. You can still make up homework. You can still get 100%, okay? Any questions?
I have a question. While I was doing my homework, I saw a skill builder. What is that?
Oh, the skill builder here is just a little bit, okay. A skill builder is just a little bit of foundation review. Okay, those usually are pretty simple. All right. We are trying to see how much is the skill review in here. Well, yeah, this is a little bit skill review, but not really that much skill review. Okay, this is all the quiz. So looks like we only have a 1 section skill review. Chapter 3, prerequisite factoring. Factoring is an important part. Okay, so yeah, so only have a 1, 2, I think we only have a 2 skill review, that one. All right, so skill review usually it's just a little bit something, really quick and easy, but we will do a little bit in this one. Okay, so look at this one, solution, right? And how do you type the interval notation? Actually, we can take this one out, okay? I don't really have to do this one. Okay, but the factoring you do need to, this one is unassigned, so it's already unassigned. So actually it's not assigned there. Okay, you probably only have a factoring still assigned because I'm doing this one right here. So I'm showing my screen. So my screen, you can see everything, right? If you go to the student view, it probably won't show that one. All right. Okay, any other questions? So you know where to begin the homework, where, the pace, everything, right? All right, so I am going to actually share the test review already because we don't have a time to go through all the sections. So I am going to showing you the review question, the test 1 review. This will be the best way to include everything. All right, include all the section together. Just using this review for our 20% of time because I think this will make the most value for all the review for our online meeting time. All right. So I already shown you how to do the homework, that kind of thing. So we're gonna start a review in here. Okay, test one review. And if you wait until next week to do this one right here, you can come back. I'm recording this video, so you can always come back to watch the video again if you need to. Okay. Any questions? And you do have
Where do we go to watch these videos?
Oh, on the I will send you the link. Yeah, I will post. Yeah, I will post the link later on. When we're done with the just like the link, you will get to the class. And also like the link you have for this class is gonna be used for the whole semester. Okay, so you can use the same link next week again. So I don't need to send you another link for the meeting. This link it will work next Tuesday as well. All right. So you don't say, oh, I don't find a link. You're gonna use the same link. Okay, for the online meeting. All right, let's look at the review test one. Okay, so this is test one review. Find the slope for the line containing this given point. So first, you have to have a slope formula. Slope formula is using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right. And what does this one mean? This is a function notation. So f3 equal to 4. So that means the first point here is when x equal to 3, y is 4. So this will be x1, y1. Okay. And f of 9 equal to -3. That means this is another point when x equal to 9. All right. Y is -3. So this will be x2, y2. All right, and then you just plug it in. Y2 here is -3 minus y1 here is 4. And then x2 here is 9 minus 3. And then we simplify that. Okay, so this will be negative 7, right, over 6. Or you can write down -7 over 6. Okay, so that is your slope. When a slope will be undefined, well, if you have something, a number divided by 0, that is undefined. Okay, we call this one is a null. NO is a null. All right, because it's undefined. If you have a number divided by a 0, I'm sorry. If you have a 0 divided by a number, that is 0. So we call this one is okay. All right, remember these two words is very important, right? One is okay, one is not. When you have a 0 on the numerator, denominator is non-zero, that's okay, because that's equal to 0. All right, but when you have a 1 divided by 0, that is undefined. So this one is a no. Questions? All right, so this one you do have a slope, right? Slope is -7 over 6. So it's not undefined in here. All right. Okay, second one here, you need to solve for y. All right, how do I solve for y here? I have a 3 over 5y minus 2 equal to 1/2, right? So we're going to solve for y in here. Solve for y, that means I need to have a y equal to something. Solve for 1y, right? And then we're going to add a 2 on both sides, okay? So before we even add this fraction, if you do not like a fraction, you can multiply the LCD on both sides. Get rid of fraction. Okay, so that will be easier. So what is the LCD for this one? This common denominator. I have a 5, I have a 2. They don't have anything in common, so I multiply these two together, will be 10. So if I multiply both sides by 10, I will get rid of denominator. Okay, so 10 times 3 over 5y minus 2 times 10 equal to 1/2 times 10. Remember, everyone need to times 10. All right, and when you have everyone times 10, that's still equal. And then this can be canceled out. 5 and 10, 10 divided by 5, you got 2, right? So 2 times 3, you got 6y minus 20. And then this cancel out, so you got 5. All right, so now it will be really easy. Okay, we plus 20 on both sides. So we have a 6y, this cancel out, 6y equal to 25, right? And then you divide by both sides by 6. So y will be 25 over 6. All right, so there's no common factor here, so this is the lowest term, right? If it's 24 over 6, now you need to simplify, right? But this one is 25, so that is your final answer in here. Okay, number 3. Okay, number 3 here is determine the interval on which function is increasing, decreasing, or constant. All right, so if you look at this one right here, going up is increasing, right? Stay the same is constant, and then and then going down is decreasing. Okay, but you need to write down the interval is the x interval. Increasing or decreasing, you look at the y value, but when you write down the interval, you have to write down the x interval. All right, so how do we write down the x interval in here? So number 3, increasing interval. Increasing, so I look at the x. X here is from -4, right? And also from the increasing, decreasing, we always using open interval, okay? This one is very important. For the increasing, decreasing, constant interval, we always using open one. So that means we only look at anything in between, not include the endpoint. All right, so this increasing one will be from x is -4, right? -4 up to x will be what? How much is x here? 2. So that's the increasing one. All right, decreasing. All right, so this is decreasing. Decreasing here, you will be, this one right here is 3. 3 to what? Okay, I'm gonna move this a little bit in here. All right, so this move up here, x will be 3, right? 3 to 5 is decreasing. 3 to 5. All right, so all use the parentheses for the increasing or decreasing. And which one is a constant? Constant, that means stay the same, right? So this horizontal piece is a constant. So this constant here is from 2 to 3. 2 to 3. All right, so that is your interval in here. This is your interval notation, right? I just explained what is the interval earlier. Any questions? Okay, look at this one right here. This is a little bit application. So this is in the, you can see this is chapter 2, section 1 in here, okay? Rick's number yards has 540 yards of fencing, which to enclose a rectangular area. If the enclosed area is x yard long, express its area as a function of its length. All right, so yeah, in math we do have an application. So first you have to understand 2 formula for this one. Okay, when it's a rectangle, that means length and width. This one is perpendicular. All right, it's a rectangle in here. This you have this much yard of the fencing. Okay, so you have basically you have a 540 material, and then you want to build this rectangle, and the area is x yard long. So x yard long. Okay, and what is the area? Well, first area here, we say area is length times what? Width for the rectangle, right? And then my length here is x. Okay, my length here is x. And what is my width? What is my w here? What is the w here? All right, so now you have to know what is 550 yard mean. What is 550? Can anyone give me an answer? What is 550? I'd like to have a chat. What is 550 mean?
The perimeter.
It's perimeter. That's exactly right. Okay, so how do you find a perimeter for the rectangle? Perimeter is the sum of all the sizes. Okay, so I have a 4 sides. The rectangle here, opposite side will be equal. Okay, so this is my L is equal to X. My length is equal to X. All right, this one right here, the length is X. Yeah. Okay, so basically this perimeter here is 2X plus 2W equal to 540. All right, since I don't want a W in the equation, so I will need to go to solve this W in terms of X and then replace them. Substitute this one right here, right? So I have a 2X plus 2W equal to 540. I will minus 2X on both sides, okay? And then this cancel out. So my 2W will be 540 minus 2X. And then divided by both sides by 2. So I will have a W. This one will be 270 minus X. Look at that. Divided by 2. Each one divided by 2. All right. So my area here will be X times W. W here is 270 minus X. Okay. You can leave this one as a final answer. Or if you want to multiply that in, this will be 270X minus X squared. All right. So that is your area in terms of what? X in here. Okay, so that is the one you will need to be able to express the area in terms of one variable X in here. Any questions? So this one right here, you have to know the formula for the area, right? The rectangle area, which is just length times width. And then you also have to understand what a 540 yards means. This means you have this much material and you need to build a 4 sides. So this is the perimeter. All right. Perimeter, you're going to have a 4 sides add up together. So in here will be 2X plus 2W. And then go to solve for W. Okay. After that, replace the W in here. Substitute W with 270 minus X. And you will get this final answer. Your A here is equal to this one, or you can have this one as a final answer. Either one will be good. Probably this answer will be better, right? You multiply all of them in. Okay, so the reason I also giving you this one, at least you know how the test is gonna look at that, right? At least you have a little bit impression on how the test is gonna look at that. And then when you go back to study each section, it will become much better because now you understand one by one in each one, okay? Graphing, this one is called a piecewise function because this function occupies, it combines the 3 pieces, right? So this one is limit the X value on X less than or equal to -4, right? And then this will be negative X plus 1, okay? And between -4 to 3, this will be just 3. All right, so you can go to look at which one choose the correct answer, right? I'm not sure if I got all the correct answer in here because when I print out this one, looks like I usually have A, B, C, D, so I probably miss one question here. All right, but we're gonna pretend, okay? I'm gonna graph this one on my own. All right, so we'll graph this one on our own, and then we can go to choose the correct answer. I can do this one by hand, and then I can also do this one by the calculator, so you can compare them. Okay, so number 5, how do I graph this one? The first piece, negative X plus 1. X need to be less than or equal to 4, right? So you choose 2 points, X and Y, okay? X is less than or equal to 4, so that means I can choose -4 because it has an equal sign, right? So I can choose this one, -4, so this will be negative of -4 plus 1, right? And then this will be 5 because negative become positive. And since less than or equal to -4, this is going to the left, all right? It's going to the left. So I can choose -5. All right, so I cannot choose 0 because 0 is not in this domain. All right, so this will be -5 plus 1, so this will be 6, right? So if I just graph the fourth piece in here, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, -4, 0. All right, so when this is -4 here, this will be +5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? That's 5 and 6. So this will be right here. All right, when the x is -5, this will be 6. So right here. All right, so I graph this one going to the left. All right, so that's my fourth piece. I cannot come all the way down in here because x is less than or equal to -4, right? And then the second piece here, second piece will be easy. Between -4 and 3, this y will be 3. So -4 to 3 will be from here to here. This will be 3. 3 is right here. But so we're gonna have this one, 3 in here. And then this one, you're gonna using a circle. The reason using a circle here because it didn't have a what? It didn't have an equal sign in this one. So you're gonna have to use a circle. All right. And then the next piece here is y is equal to 4x when x greater than or equal to 3. All right, so graph one line, you only need 2 points, right? So I can make 2 points, x and y. X is 3. I do have a solid point, so 3 times 4 is 12. And then I will have a x equal to 4 because 4 is also greater than 3, and this will be 16, right? So now I have a graph this one in all in one. So this is 3, this will be 12, probably somewhere right here, okay? And then this 4, this will be 16. So, and then I graph this one going up. So that is how you do that by hand. All right, and then after I graph this one right here, right, and I can go to choose to see which one looks like similar to this one. All right, apparently the first one doesn't look right. This one is going down, this one going down. So I should have both going up that way. So apparently this one is wrong. Okay, is this second one correct? Well, second one looks like this one should be a solid one. Okay, because I have an equal sign. I do have an equal sign. I do have an equal sign from the -4. So this fourth piece should be a solid one. And then this horizontal one should be a circle. So this one, you know, it didn't looks like it's facing the right direction, but the point wasn't right. Okay, so this one is wrong as well. And then this one is wrong too, right? Because you can see the facing direction is not the same. So I probably missing one correct one right here. This usually have A, B, C, D, so I missed the correct one in here. But that is how the graph is supposed to look like, right? This is horizontal piece. You have a circle because you don't have an equal sign in here. And then this piece need to have a solid. This piece need to have a solid. So if I put this one with a solid, this one with a solid, change this one into circle. That will be the similar one. Okay, so I'm missing the correct answer D in here. But that's how the graph is gonna look like. Okay. If you want to do that in a calculator, I can show you how to do that in a calculator. So again, you are allowed to use the TI-83 or 84 calculator for the test, okay? And if I have this one right here, okay, the first one is -x plus 1, negative, the first one negative, you need to use the parentheses, right? -x plus 1. If I only input this one right here and graph them, what happen? You're gonna go graph all the x, okay? So if I put a condition in here using the divide, and the parentheses, and I can set up the condition that x is less than or equal to 4, right? So you're gonna have to go to the second test using this one, less than or equal to 4. So that is -4. All right. So once you This one get one more. All right, once you put a condition right here, look at it, it stopped right here, right? So that is x less than or equal to 4. And then you know this should be a solid one. The calculator do not really show that clearly. All right. Same thing as in this one. If you graph this x equal to y equal to 3, it's gonna give you all the x value, you know. And then again, if you really want to this one stop, you can put it this one right here, just the one I did in here. Okay. So this one, you're gonna have a x is greater than -4, less than 3. All right, so x greater than -4. All right, and then you need to using n because this one it doesn't graph. You need to go to the logic and then using the n in here because this one it won't graph the compound inequality. All right, so x is greater than -4 and less than 3. All right. Less than 3 is number 5. Okay. All right. Oh, I put I don't know why it come up like a all right. Okay. So it look right, and then we graph them. So now it will stop right there, right? So you need to have a condition in here. It will stop. Okay. And then the last piece here. So where's the last piece? The last piece here is x is greater than x 4x, right? So y is equal to 4x. Okay, 4x. Same thing if you don't limit this one, you're gonna graph from left to right all the x value. Okay, so we're gonna have to put in a condition. All right, put in a condition in here. So using the divide and put a condition, x is gonna need to be greater than or equal to greater than or equal to 3. Okay, so same thing, you will go to the condition here. Greater than or equal, so that's number 4, right? And that's 3. All right, so looks like everything is right, and then we graph them. Why this one did not graph? Y is equal to 4x, right? 4x. Oh, you know what? It's on the top. You couldn't see that, so I'm gonna have to adjust my window. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so probably, oh, that's x. It should be y maximum. All right, so it's right here, right? So yeah, it didn't show up like that, because this y is a little bit bigger. Okay, probably I don't really need the 36. There's 20, and then this maximum I can have a 30, so I can see the graph a little bit clearly. All right. Oh, this one, I said 20. It went to 200 for some reason. All right, so now you can see, you can adjust the window to fit your need, right? But this is how they look like, all right? So you know how to graph the piecewise by setting up the condition. If you don't set up the condition, you're gonna have a graph all the way from left to right, okay? So that is how you do this one using a calculator, or you can just do it by hand. I think doing it by hand is probably as easy as doing the calculator, all right? Probably do that by hand, probably even easier. You just calculate 2 points, and then you can calculate already. Okay, so this number 6 is the function f of x equal to ax minus 1. G of x is negative x squared. So how do you do the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and also the domain? Okay, so what is the domain here? Domain, you actually just need 2 things. Denominator cannot be 0, right? We talked about earlier. When the denominator equal to 0 is undefined, all right? And also, if you have an even root has to be greater than or equal to 0. So you only have 2 conditions, okay? If you don't have these 2 conditions, it can be anything, all right? So this number 6, f, where's my f? My f here is ax minus 1. So where's the domain here? Domain here, this can be all real number, all right? From negative infinity to positive infinity, that's the interval notation for all real numbers, okay? Because I don't have anything in a square root. I don't have anything in a denominator, so this can be anything, all right? Same thing as g. G is negative 6x squared, right? So there's no square root in here, no denominator. So same thing, the domain for this one is also all real number. Okay, what is the domain of f plus g? All right, so when you have a f plus g, you just add these 2 together. Fx is ax plus 1, right? Plus g plus negative 6x squared. Same thing, there's nothing in the denominator or square root, so the domain here is still all real number. Okay? F minus g, all right, so we calculate f minus g, ax minus 1 minus g minus negative 6x squared. All right, negative become positive, right? So same thing, domain for this one is also all real number because nothing in the denominator or no x in the denominator or square root, okay? And what is the domain of f times g? Well, what is f times g? F is ax minus 1 times this one is negative 6x squared, right? And then you can go to multiply this whole thing in. Or if you just want to find the domain here is still all real number, okay? Because no square root, no denominator, all right? And this is how you calculate. If you have a f divided by g, all right, so now we're going to have a numerator is ax minus 1. Denominator, you're going to have a negative 6x squared. So we do have this in a denominator. So negative 6x squared cannot be equal to 0, right? If you divide by both sides by negative 6x squared, 0 divided by 6 is still 0, all right? And then if you take the square root on both sides for the 0, you're going to get x cannot be equal to 0. So the domain here is x cannot be equal to 0, right? And how do I write down this one in an interval notation? All right, so that's another new thing. The whole x value, you're gonna get cut by 1 point. So we cannot have a 0 this point. So we can have anything to the left or anything to the right, just cannot have a 0. So this is gonna separate into 2 intervals. Okay, the first interval will be from negative infinity to 0. And then only in the second interval here will be 0 to infinity. All right, because you need to use parentheses. Okay, so that means you have 2 intervals and x cannot be equal to 0. That's how you write down the interval. Need to have a 2 interval. All right. Any questions? All right, so the domain for g over f. So we need to go to find what is g over f. G is negative 6x squared. F here is ax minus 1. All right, so this one, ax minus 1 is the denominator. Denominator cannot be equal to 0. Okay, so we need to solve for this equation. You add a 1 on both sides, so ax will be equal to 1, right? Divided by a. So x will be equal to 1 over a. So that means when x equal to 1 over a, this whole thing will be 0. So we need to get rid of this point. All right. And how do you write down the interval? Similar, 1 over a. Circle this point out. you have a two interval, first and second. So from negative infinity to 1/8, and then from 1/8 to positive infinity. So that is your interval notation. Okay. Any questions? All right, so this is the function notation, and then we just calculate all of this, okay? We just calculate all of this in here. All right, this one is considered a function f and g is showing in here, okay? Find the domain of f, the domain for g, and the domain of f plus g. Okay, so domain is the x value in here. Domain is the x value, okay? So domain of x value, domain for the f here, this one is from 2 to what? F here is the blue one, okay, the blue one. So f here will be from 2 to 12, okay? And since this one has a solid dot here, so my domain for the, okay, number 7, domain for the f here, domain for the f here will be from 2 to 12, okay, included. And domain for the g here, domain for the g here will be from g here is green one, right? So green one here, this one will be from 1 to what? 10. Okay, so the tricky part here is where is the domain for f plus g? All right, so the domain for the f plus g, that means they have to be in f, also have to be in the g. Okay, so we're gonna go to look at this overlap. All right, f here is from 2 to 12. 2 to 12, that's f, right? And then my g here is from 1 to 10. All right, so which one they do have in common? So where's the overlap part? Anyone? Look at this one. What is the overlap part in here? That means they're both in F and also in G. So from where to where? 2 to what?
10.
2 to
2 to
10.
10.
Yeah, exactly. That's the common part. Okay. So you need to satisfy both of them. So that means it have to be in both of them. So it's 2 to 10. If you do the 1 here, 1 is not in the F. Okay. If you do the 12, 12 is not in the G. All right. So you can only from 2 to 10. 2 to 10 will have both on F and G in here. Okay. So look at the common part. Okay, there's one new calculation in here in 2.3. So 2.3, this one is considered a new one. A circle here is considered is called a composition of the function. Okay, so we have a f times g, we have a f plus g, and then divide by g, right? You have this all the algebra calculation. But now in 2.3 here, in this college algebra, we learn this new operator. This one is called a composition function. All right, composition. Composition is using the layer. All right, outer layer, the first one, f composite g. The first one is the outer, the second one is the inner. All right, so look at this one right here. I have a f of x is 4x plus 9, and then I have a g of x is x cube, right? And how do I find the f composite g when x is -1? All right, so let me show you a little bit. X is equal to -1. So x equal to -1. We said the function is kind of like a machine. All right, so I'm gonna say this one. You're gonna go through the inner first. This is the inner, and then this one, the first one is the outer. All right, that's outer. So when you go in, you go to the inner first. So that means you go to G first. Okay, and then we come back here, you're gonna come back with a g of -1. And then we're gonna go through the second machine. So second machine here, this is f. All right, and then you're gonna come out with f of whatever. Okay, So let's calculate this one right here. If I throw -1 into G, how much is G of -1? Well, I have a G of X equal to X cubed, right? So my G of -1 will be -1 cubed. And that is what? -1. Okay. So when you throw the X equal to -1 into G, come out still -1. And then this -1 here gonna throw into F. So how much is F of the -1? Come out the F. All right, we throw this -1 into F. So this will be F of the -1. So you're gonna go to the F function here, replace the X by -1 plus 9. So this whole thing will be 5. Okay, so that's the composition. So now you have this whole thing equal to 5. All right, this is a new procedure. Okay, how about the second one here? If I have a F is 4X plus 3, what is the F composite F? Well, F composite F in here is you throw X equal to -3 in, right? And then you go through this F machine, all right? You come out as F of -3, and then you throw into another F machine again, all right? And then this will come out whatever this you have. So if you throw -3 into F, how much do you get? How much is F of -3? I'm gonna put it in here. F of -3, that's 4 times -3 plus 3. So it's -12 plus 3. That is -9. So this whole thing will be -9. Ooh. All right, you have a -9. So -9 gonna throw into F again. Okay, so this will become out will be F of the -9. So now you have a -9 going through the second time. So how much is F of the -9? Well, you're gonna have a 4 times -9 plus 3. -36 plus 3 is what? -3. Okay, so that means this F composite F of X equal to -3 is equal to -3. So basically this one you write down this way. All right, F of -3, that one. Okay, and then you calculate the inside force. Calculate inside force is -9, right? So you have an F of -9, and F of the -9 here is -33. All right, so this one, if you go through the function notation exercise a little bit more time, you will have a little bit clear. This is 2 there, right? The function composition is 2 there. Now we're gonna look at this one without a number. Okay, so how do I do this one? How do I do F composite G of X? So number 10, this is also probably the most challenging one for this chapter. It's a new one, right? I have a F of X is 2X plus 1. G of X here is square root of X. Okay, so what is my F composite G of X? Well, F composite G of X, remember this first one is the outer, second one is the inner. Okay, all right. Or I don't have to write down the F. I don't have to write down the X. I can write down the F of the G. Okay, so this is F of the G. F of the G, I can go to my F function, replace the X by G. Look at that. This one actually is very simple. I can replace the X by G. All right, so this will be 2G plus 1. Okay, and then I put my G in. G here is the square root of X. And that's it. This whole composition is equal to 2 square root of X plus 1. If I have a G composite F, what happens? G will be the what? Outer. F will be the what? Inner. Okay, so I'm going to G first, replace X by F. So I'm going to G. G is the square root of X. So this will be square root of F, right? And then I finally put an F in. F is 2X plus 1. So that is my G composite F. Look at it. All right, and what is the domain for the first one? Well, domain for the first one, look at that. This one is the square root of X. So it's under the square root. So x must be greater than or equal to 0, or from 0 to infinity. That's the interval, right? My second one right here, G comma GF. My entire square root is 2x plus 1. So 2x plus 1 need to be greater than or equal to 0. And I go to solve for x. Okay, minus 1 on both sides divided by 2. So x will be greater than or equal to -1/2 or -1/2 to infinity. So that's my interval notation in here. All right. Any questions? I know this one probably a little bit challenging because this is a new concept for this chapter. Okay, if you go through a little bit more video and then come back, do a little bit practice homework and come back to look at this one, it will become much easier. All right, let's look at this one right here. Determine the visually with graph with symmetry with respect x, y, or the origin. So what do you think of this one? This one look like a symmetry with the y-axis, right? So symmetry with y-axis, that means you fold along y, you're gonna overlap the other side, okay? So that's very obvious. Okay, so we have a 17 question. I'm gonna overtime a little bit and go ahead finish this one. At least you have an entire video for the test 1 review, okay? Because I don't really like to put it into 2 videos. Later on, you couldn't find the other one, the other half. All right, so probably 10 minutes overtime. Then I will give you the 10 minutes back next class. All right. Determine whether the graph is symmetric with the x-axis, y-axis, or the origin. Okay. This one right here. So what is what is symmetric with the x-axis? If you symmetric with the x-axis, that means you replace y with -y and you still come at the same. All right. And then we can go to look at this one right here. So if I replace y, okay, so this is a negative y squared equal to 4, right? And then this negative is still positive. So I still come up with the same. All right, so yeah, this one is symmetric with the y-axis, symmetric with the x-axis, because I replace y with negative, y is still come out the same. Same thing, if you go to replace the x with the y-axis here, is replace the x with negative x, and it still come out the same, right? I replace the x with negative x. All right, and then this one is negative square, is still positive. All right, so yeah, this one is symmetric with the y-axis as well. Okay, and then origin here is you replace both. You replace the x with negative x, replace y with negative y, and it still come out the same. All right, so this one, this kind of square is a multiple choice. You can have a more than one correct answer. So apparently this one, you have a more than one correct answer in here. All right, so even you replace both because they both y negative x squared minus 2 times negative y squared, right, equal to 4. Yeah, this square is still positive. Okay, so they still come out the same. So that they are symmetric with all of them in here. Same thing as this one. This one is just the number different, right? It's exactly the same as number 12. Okay, so some of them probably double but it's still the same. Okay, how do you find the point? This is the point, right? So if I have this point, how do I write down the point? Okay, so I can put this one in a coordinate x and y. Okay, so where is the -12 or -3? -12, -3, probably a little bit up here, right? -3. Okay, so somewhere right here. All right, so this is my point P, -12, -3. And then this one, you can go to just, symmetry with the x-axis, right? So what is the symmetry with the x-axis? So that means you fold along the x, and then you find a corresponding point. So should be, this is the third quadrant. This one will be in the second quadrant, right? This is a fourth. This is number 4. All right. So where's this one right here? So this one right here, y should be positive. So the symmetry with the x-axis here should be -12 and 3, right? That is the order pair should be symmetric with the x-axis. And what's the symmetry with the y-axis? Well, y-axis is folded around y, so you fold it around y here, fold it around the vertical one. So this one should be +12, and y still -3. Y stay the same. Okay, so that's the symmetry with the y-axis. And symmetry with the origin. So how do you graph symmetry with the origin? You connect with the origin and then extend to the same distance, and should be right here. All right, so this one right here, the x will be positive, y is also positive. All right, so you can just make a little bit graph in here, and you can see the positive and negative in here, right? So this one is symmetric with the x-axis. This Q here is symmetric with the y-axis. All right, A here is symmetric with x, right? And then the Q, the Q, okay, call it Q prime here. Q prime here will be symmetric with the origin 0 in here. Okay, so that's how you do the symmetry in here. You can just make a graph and then do that. All right, this one here is compared to this x squared. How does this one move? Okay, if you do not know how this one move, you can put in a calculator, graph them. All right, but I want to tell you how this move in here. Okay, so you have a g of x is negative. That means facing down. Okay, x -2 squared plus 4. So inside here, when you have a f of x equal to x minus c squared, okay, this is moving when c is positive. Okay, I'm going to just say this is 2 in here. So this one is moving to the right, 2 units. Okay. The y here is easier. Y here, if this last number is positive, that means up 4. Okay. X here is a little bit different. This is using minus format. So when you have a -2, actually it's moving to the right. When you have a x plus 2 squared, all right, this actually compared to f of x equal to x squared, this actually is moving to the left for 2 units. All right. So that is this one right here. So this one right here is right 2 unit and up 4. Okay. All right, number 16 here is you want to write down the equation has the graph that has the same shape is this one, but upside down, and then shift depth for 5 unit or 9 unit. So how do you write this one right here? Well, upside down, that means you're gonna have a f of x gonna be negative x squared. This is gonna be upside down, okay? And then shift 9 units, but upside down, right? And shift depth for 9 units. Shift depth is on the x-axis, all right? It's shifting on the x-axis. If we shift up and down, it's on the y-axis. So shift this depth for 9 here, you're gonna have a plus 9 and then square. Okay, so that will be moving to the left. If you do not know this one right here, look at that. We can come back to look at this whole calculator. All right, this will be really easy to graph. Okay, and I am going to zoom my window, zoom to standard. Okay, zoom number 6 standard. All right, so look at this one right here. X squared, right? Y equal to x squared. That is a parabola in here. Okay, and then if I have a negative x squared, all right, this will be upside down, right? This will be upside down in here. And then if I have this upside down, and then I have a x plus 9. Okay, so this one's supposed to move into the depth for 9 units, right? Oh yeah, it is moving to the depth. The red one moving to the depth. So when I have a x plus 9 squared, it's moving to the depth. All right. So you can graph this one really quicker, and then you can check your equation to see if it's matching that way. Okay. All right, last one. G of x, okay, G of x is equal to negative f of x plus 2. Okay, giving you this one right here, can you choose the correct answer? All right, so how do you do this one right here? You're gonna go to choose some of the f point, okay? The point of f. So look at the first point right here. I'm gonna look at the middle point. The middle point here, x is 0, y is 0, right? So when this is 0, I have a g of x will be 0 plus 2. So this is gonna move up for 2 units. Okay, so look at the origin. My origin here is supposed to be moved up for 2 units, right? And then this one is moving down, this one is moving down. So C and D is already incorrect. The possible correct answer here is either A or B, because the middle term here, this should be moving up for 2 units. Okay, moving up for 2 units. All right, and then this look at this one right here. Look at this one right here. X, this one Y here is probably 1.5, right? Right here. This one is 1.5. Okay, so 1.5, you have a negative 1.5 plus 2, so it should be 0.5. All right, so which one when x is equal to 0? So this one moving up. Okay, 0.5. So which one is 0.5? Okay, so another way, if you want to do the quicker one here, is don't look at the plus 2 first. Just look at the first one. Okay, we're gonna call this one is G1. G1 of x equal to negative f of x. So that means this is upside down. Okay, upside down. F is positive, G gonna become negative. F negative, G gonna be positive. All right, so which one is upside down? And then you're gonna get the whole thing, G of x, you're gonna after upside down here, and then move up for 2 units. Okay, so which one is upside down? Is this one upside down? No, this one don't look upside down in here. Look at it, this one positive, this is still positive. All right, the only thing upside down here is look at B. B is upside down. Okay, this one is positive, this become negative in here. All right, and then move up for 2 units. Okay, so that's how you look at this one, this kind of graph in here. All right, that's all we have for the, I know this is probably a lot for you at the beginning, right? But so the correct answer should be B, right? B is the correct answer, okay? I know some of you probably haven't started the chapter 1 and 2, and I suddenly giving you all the test 1 review. So probably a little bit overfilm at the beginning, right? But after since we only meet once a week, so I just want to giving you the base of for the timing that way. All right, and the base for the timing here is the review for the test. Okay, so you will have this recording, and then later on you can still come back to review this test review, and then I'm sure you can do the test very well. Okay, any other question before I let you go? Anyone has any other questions? All right, if not, that'll be all for tonight, okay? And we'll see you next Tuesday, okay? Sorry, have a little bit over time.
That's all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Yes, good night.
Good night.